Lost the screen. Oh, there it is.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alignable Microsoft Productivity Power Hour. Today is going to be a do-over from last month. We had a little technical difficulty last month, so we're going to redo the presentation we did last month. So, friendly reminder, all meetings are recorded and posted on the community YouTube channel. If you wish to be recorded, don't wish to be recorded, please stay on mute or off camera or disengage from the call and watch the recording. If you have any questions, you can add it into the chat. What we cover, we're Microsoft Office 365 and Office 365, unlocking the full potential of cloud-based products and collaborational tools. One is OneDrive for business, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Forms, Power Apps, Power Automated, Power BI, Microsoft Copilot. As you see, we pretty much do a lot of stuff back office in Microsoft. I am Harry Carter, your host today, and your speaker will be Nikia Carter. Um, we're co-CEOs of NCT Tech Consulting LLC. Here's our credentials and things here. If you have any questions, use the chat window before you forget. Please put it in the chat. We will be monitoring the chat to make sure you be able to answer your questions. Cloud disclaimer. This is a Microsoft Cloud technology. It's consistently being updated. So please excuse of any inconsistencies between our presentation slides and the current portal changes because it's a cloud product. Updates are constantly being done. So something could have just got updated seconds ago. So we could be actually on the meeting doing presentation and something made a button here, a button there. So just give us a few seconds to find it and we move right on. So today's agenda, we're going deep into Microsoft AI Copilot. Last time we talked about different types of Copilot and the Copilot journey. We use Copilot in Word to draft a proposal. We use Copilot to create a profile of ourselves within Copilot. We also use to do research and sales. Now we're going to dive deeper part 3 using Copilot and PowerPoint to draft a presentation. All right, so it's demo time, and I'll hand it over to Nikia. Explain what Copilot PowerPoint is and how it helps small businesses, and create a presentation from forms. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. All right. And with that, I'll hand it over to Nikia.
All right, thanks, Harry. So yes, we did a lot of work already on talking about Copilot, from Copilot in the browser, Copilot and being in different places, the different products of Copilot. We also showed how we can train Copilot. So Harry did an awesome presentation on that. We also talked about how you can create a presentation in Copilot. So that's one of the things I'm going to start off with. I'm sorry, not a presentation, a proposal in Word, based on some elements that we gave Copilot to think about. So now we're going to kind of continue that conversation by first talking about the proposal that we created. It was a proposal that I added more spruce to. So now it's all nice and pretty and formatted, where before it was raw, but it had all the data in it that we needed. So I have my cover page. Matter of fact, let me make this thing. Let me make the view like that. Or one page, actually. Page width. No, one page. There we go. All right, so I have my cover page. I have the proposal, which has a table of contents, introduction, our services, why to use the landscaping, a proposal summary, quick shot, and the next steps, as well as the ending. So that's what we have for this proposal. So now we're going to go ahead and try to make off of this proposal. Actually, let me leave it up so when we need to flip back and forth to it, we can. Now we're going to use this proposal as the basis for creating a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to use to present the actual proposal to the customer. Now, you can present the Word document to a customer, but a lot of times now, people, especially, well, everybody's busy, but everybody always like pretty things. So having visual representations of a document can be more powerful than having the actual document itself at times. So you might want to have both, and this is the easy way for you to get both. You can start off with your proposal, open up PowerPoint, go to a blank document, a blank presentation. Now there is that create with PowerPoint button. I don't really use that button. You can use it. It should land you right in here with this open. But if it doesn't, this window open like this. But if it doesn't, close it, open up a brand new one with a blank presentation. All right. So when you get in here with the blank presentation, there's this little Copilot stars button up here, and there's Copilot over here as well. Where you want to start with is this Copilot button up here. So you click on this, and here's where there's create a presentation and also create a presentation with a file. You can use either way, because even if you create a new presentation, you can still add a file to it. So I'll just do it that way. So the presentation that I'm about to create is going to be on my green tech. Oh God, come on. Green tech my company's proposal. I could do something like that and then hit the reference files. When I hit the reference files, it gives me ability for me to be able to search through files. Sometimes the search doesn't work. Also, you don't have to click the button. You could just click the the forward slash, and that will also open up the ability for you to add a reference. So you start typing, and like I said, sometimes it won't come up. Sometimes you just don't see the document that you're looking for or the item that you're looking for. So if you grab the URL from that document, it can be any one link with anybody be able to view it. So it doesn't have to be an editable link. But that way the system can also get it, or it could be an inside link because Copilot's internal to your system. But grab one of those links that's at least a view link, so that it can see the proposal, and then it would actually pull it in, just in case you don't see it under the references. Now you can add a whole lot more detail here. There are people like Harry, for example, who likes to add all the detail up front of everything that he wants to do in this proposal. Now, I can show it both ways, so that's what I'm going to do, is show the one way that where I kind of chunk it out, and then I could show another way where I actually put everything that I want in the prompt, just in the beginning. So I'm going to start with that. Let's see. So I want to create my company proposal, and I want it to include, please include a friendly intro, our proposal. Woo, always do that. Proposal. Price. No, not pricing, because I want to do that. But a proposal. And why choose us. And sure to include why choose us. Also, include speaker slides and make the tone persuasive. Yeah, my thing is tripping. And my fingers are tripping too. Tone persuasive and friendly. Okay. Now I could add way more stuff here. Any suggestions from you, Harriet, of any additional things you think I should add?
Yeah,
Or for the audience?
what kind of images? Friendly, exciting images.
These images that are exciting and fun. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to hit go. Now I could reference more than one document. Just because I'm only referencing one document doesn't mean I couldn't reference more than one document. I could reference the proposal. Maybe I have some spreadsheet with some pricing in it. Maybe I have some other bits of information like sample samples for maybe competitors or something like that to add a little bit more robustness to the data that's about to be used to create this presentation. But I'm going to go ahead and just create it off of what I have right now, hit the go, and it's going to start generating the presentation slides that it thinks that I want to use. Now from this, I can see it gives me an outline. This is my presentation with the welcome, the 2 slides at least, the proposals, 2 slides for that, why choose us, 2 slides for that, the next steps, and 2 slides for that. Now it says a maximum of 12 slides, estimated 12 slides with a maximum of 40 slides. So sometimes it shows you this bit and you're like, oh, it's only going to be like this many. And then it actually goes to generate it and it's like, nah, I'm going to slide in these other ones. I think you need these slides too. So that's why it tells you we think it's going to be this amount, but when we actually go to do it, it could be as high as this amount. Now you can modify what you said. So if this, for some reason, isn't showing what you want, you can go back to the pencil and edit it. You can also add more sections or delete sections. You can choose the delete to delete any one of these topics. You can also click the plus button to add any topics that you might want to add. But I'm going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to hit generate slides. And it's going to generate the slides with the pictures, with the speaker notes, and all of that. Okay, that's popping up. Okay, now as you can see, it already has some color, some nice font, my logo is already in here. The different pictures that are, colorful and fun. But all the information, everything that I need in here, including a conclusion slide, which gave me 15 slides instead of 12 slides. Now I can choose to keep it or I can choose to delete it. Those are my only 2 options at this point. So I'm going to choose to keep it. Now, if I choose to delete it, I'm going to have to start over. But if I choose to keep it, then I can go into, right now, it's in the slide sorter mode. I can go into normal mode and then look at each one of these slides individually. I also can see, if I pull up the notes, how I have, even though it came out a little weird, I have some speaker notes in here. Maybe let me go to this one. Some of them it missed doing some speaker notes. It only did it on some, it did it on some slides and not some slides. probably because it thought, okay, you can just read that slide. But now I'm going to show you a different way. Even though there's also a third way. The third way is to create the whole slide deck through the browser base of Copilot, where you feed in that file and you give it all the information just like I gave it earlier, and you tell it to create you a PowerPoint presentation. The only problem with that way is normally the pictures and stuff don't come out right, or at all. I've built several of them or tried to through that method, and just the pictures are disappointing. Or like I said, you don't get any pictures or color. You get a plain vanilla deck that has all the content in it, but then you have to go through and modify and format and all of that stuff. So that could be a little bit more time consuming, but it could also be something that you might want to do. But I like starting from here. That way I have stuff that's already kind of formatted and everything. All I have to do is make some tweaks. So now we're going to do this again, but this time we're going to do it the longer way. Whoopsie. Let me get this over here. Okay. And then I'm going to open up a new one. And we're going to start again. I'm just going to minimize that, not get rid of it. Go back up to the top of my proposal, bring this over. Okay. Blank slide presentation. All right. Now, starting over again, but just going the longer way this time. Create, and this time I'm going to use with a file. Create a presentation with the file. So I'll already have the slash up there. So I just put in green, and then it finds my proposal, and then I just tell it to go. Now, like I said, I'm going to go a longer route where instead of me putting everything, or it can be a longer route, but it could also be just the way your brain thinks, that you need to see something first and then refine it, as opposed to know all the detail points that you want in it first. Get all of that out first and then refine it. So, there's different ways for the way you might think. So this one's got estimated 10 slides with a maximum of 40 slides. Let's go ahead and generate these things and let's see what it comes up with. And then we're going to build out a little bit so you can see some of this. Some of the things you can and you can't do, or some of the things you might be expecting for it to do, and it don't do that. It's getting there though. Yeah, and one of the reasons why our last demo didn't go so well was because Microsoft was working on Copilot. They've actually put in a few new features, and I'll point some of that out when I get into this thing as we go through modifying the slides each slide one by one, but modifying the deck at a more granular level. Okay, should be any minute now. Okay, I got my slides coming in with my color. Okay, and this time I just took the thing down. It was like, this is it. What do you think? Keep it or what? Now, the other thing you can do, instead of clicking on the keep it button, you can actually just click on they took that away, because you could just, there it goes. You can double click on the slide and it opens the deck and gives you the stuff. So there's that. So now, once you have this open, now we can make some little, granular changes. There's a couple of ways we could do it. There's 2 Copilots now here too. The one that we showed earlier, and this one here that we also showed earlier. So you could use both ways, but there is a kind of hidden thing in here where these are kind of new. Adding a slide and adding a topic or more recent things that you can use now. If we open the Copilot window, come on, Copilot window. Okay. Some of the more recent things that are here now is the navigation panel, where you can actually go to previous conversations, even though I don't think that's very helpful unless the previous conversation was on a customer that maybe is this customer that's for this presentation, then maybe going back to a previous conversation would be super helpful. But other than that, most part, you're not going to want to do that. But you could also invoke agents and things like that. You can switch between work and web. If you have M365 Copilot, you're going to have the work button and the web button. So you'll be able to switch between work and web. Work will focus a lot of the attention on all the documents in your calendar, your email, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your Teams. It's going to try to gather, and the longer it gets to know you, the more stuff it will gather. It will more look at your work stuff, the stuff that people shared with you and things like that, as opposed to the web. But it'll still bring web stuff in. If you put it on the web side, though, it will mostly focus on the web side, but you could still pull work stuff in. So that's kind of how that goes. There's also starting a new chat. So if you had all of this and you've been working on it for a minute, and all of a sudden it runs out of memory, you could start a new chat right there. Or if you want a fresh chat, you can just start a new chat for that presentation. And then you got your settings and everything here as well. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make some changes to this deck. First of all, let's look through it real quick because we didn't really look at all the pictures. Actually, let me look at it this way. Whoops, didn't mean to go so fast, but there you go. You see there's some pictures in here. Logo's still in here though, that's pretty cool. And there's some speaker notes in here already, if you might have noticed. Let me pull the speaker thing up. So it automatically already was like, you probably want some speaker notes in here, even though I didn't ask for it. It also gives you this, and you might have noticed this before. This is saying that this slide is referencing the proposal. So it's just telling you what the data, where it's getting the data from, just in case you need to go back and double check that for some reason. Okay. So I'm going to, since we already have speaker notes, I'm going to say, I'm going to ask for it again though. Ask for it to add speaker notes to every slide. I usually use the word please with all of my things, even if I'm talking to a computer. I found though that sometimes it seems like AI responds better if you are using manners. It could be just me, but I think most of us, at least over here, we use please and thank you when we talk to the computer. All right. Now, it said you've asked for speaker notes on each slide for this PowerPoint. I reviewed the content and will provide, we'll review the content and will provide, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Tailored speaker notes for each slide, summarizing key points and suggesting what is emphasized during your presentation. Now, okay, so let me go to the first slide so we can look at this. There was already speaker notes on this slide, but it gave me new speaker notes to use, but it didn't put those speaker notes in the speaker notes section. So you'll have to be cognizant of that. There was a time when that did work, when it actually just put the speaker notes in there for you, so that may come back. But for right now, what it's doing is it gives you the speaker notes on the slide, on the side. Now, if I want to add a slide, instead of saying it over here, which is what you would normally do, but this doesn't always work well for adding the slide now. And the reason is because they put it over here. So if I wanted to add a slide, first of all, I go to the place where I want to add that slide. Let's say, while we stand out, quick snapshot of our proposal. Maybe, yeah, let's put it right here. So I'm going to say add a slide, and the slide is going to be one about adding pricing, adding a slide with a pricing table about, well, actually adding pricing, a pricing table. Okay. All right, that's going to work on it. Oh, says something went wrong. Hopefully it doesn't keep going wrong. And right now it is with a, I don't think that's going to make a difference. Or is it? Maybe it didn't like the double words for some reason. All right, let's see what it does. Now what it should do is give me another slide. And I literally just did this again right before this meeting, before this presentation. Oh, and it did. It gave me sample pricing options. So it didn't give me a pricing table, although I asked for it. So sometimes it will do exactly what you asked it to do. And sometimes it just won't do exactly what you asked it to do. But sometimes it doesn't do what you asked to do because you thought you had something and you didn't. So for example, let me say keep that. And then let me go back to my proposal. In my proposal, now I said to include pricing, right? But in my proposal, if you notice, there's no pricing. So it doesn't know what to put. So it gave me some pricing options that I could potentially adopt and use that to maybe put some pricing to that. But because I didn't really have any pricing, it just was like, oh, well, you don't have anything, so let me try to help you out and put something there. That, AI trying to help you. Now, there are some things that you'll ask, like, can you add a, let's see, do we have a benefits slide? Let me see. Or another type of, yeah, this slide. Let's see. We can ask for, sorry, the design suggestions just came in there. Please suggest, shoot. I don't know what I just hit to make that happen, but trying again. Please suggest the visual layout for the service offering. Service offerings slide. And then they'll tell me, maybe you want to put this type of thing in, have a 3-column table or grid with these columns in it, and then icons for the service, and then color coding with this visual call out, and keep the text minimal and things like that. Now, it used to put the actual thing in there for you, but it no longer does that. It no longer adds the actual visual, but it will give you suggestions on the visual that you may want to put in there. The next thing, you might say, okay, this is a good title, but I want something a little bit more, I don't know. I want something a little bit more. So I'm going to ask it to give me some titles that it thinks I should use. Some exciting titles. All right, now as you can see, it's giving me a few different titles, not just the title, but not just the title, but also the subtitle. So greener grounds, greener growth, greater growth, eco-friendly landscaping for modern businesses. You know, something a little bit more exciting than what I have here, which is eco-friendly landscaping for businesses, sustainable landscape designs tailored for companies. So it gave me a bunch of suggestions. I can also ask it to suggest some improvements to the presentation, because you might say, I'm not sure these are in a good order, or maybe there might be a better order in which the slide should be in, or maybe it might suggest adding certain visuals or icons, or simplifying the text, or adding bold, or stuff like that. So it's saying for me I should add visually appealing background to theme or themes to make more of the slides more engaging. So I have a bunch of slides like this one and that one and that one and that one with no picture at all. So it's suggesting I do that, use different colors and font sizes, include relevant images and icons, ensure enough spacing between lines and the text on the slide, and consider using transitions or animations to help with the presentation. So it gave me a bunch of different things that I can kind of try to see if I want to implement these things to help do my presentation a bit better. Now, you may be tempted to enter commands like apply a professional theme to this, suitable for this landscape business. But again, it doesn't do anything with the images. It only gives you suggestions back in words. But once it gives you that suggestion and doesn't apply the theme back, you're going to have to apply the theme manually through the design tab. So you can go to the design tab here. And then grab one of the themes that you want to grab. You can also use design suggestions to also help you spruce up the designs. Also, you might want to ask it something like add a logo to your footer of the slide. Again, it's just not going to go there. So you're going to have to insert the logo yourself. The way you do that is you can go to the slide master, which is under view, and go to slide master. And then when you get here, if you go to the main content type slide and you add the logo here, you can also add it on these other slide types, just in case you're going to use any of these other slide types. And that will add the logo to all the different slides. I know a little bit more of a step here, but it's not as hard as you think. Also changing the fonts here for the whole slide deck, changing the color palette for the whole slide deck. You can even come up with your own custom color palette. All right, so let me close this. All right, so as we're about to kind of, wrap down a little bit on this, I just want to make sure anybody have any questions, anything they want me to add, you can feel free to put it in the chat if you have anything that you want me to add to this. But I see Harry's got his hand up. Yes.
Yes. Question. Where you asked Copilot to give you suggestions on to make it better, and it gave you these 5 suggestions. Can you prompt the AI to implement those suggestions? Can
If
you?
you do, you're gonna have to do it through the you're not going to be able to get like any of the visual or the fonts to do it. No, no, it's not going to do that. You can potentially, I think, put it through the browser, I believe, and have it add those things. But then I think it strips out things too when you do that.
Okay,
But you
thank you.
let me know if you got, because I know you do things a little bit differently, if you had a tip for that.
Yeah, normally whenever I pull things up like that, I ask it to implement it and see what it does. It tend to implement a lot of what you ask it to do, especially since it's continuously on the same train of thought. So it start picking up more intelligence as you go along. Um, but when I do research or when I'm doing proposals and I say, how can this proposal be better? And it gives me suggestions, I say, okay, now redo it and implement all these changes.
Yeah, but do you do it through here or do you do it through the browser version of Copilot?
I do it through the Copilot next to the design suggestion. So it's pretty much, yeah, through there.
Okay, so you're saying if I put at, say, take this suggestion.
Mm-hmm. And ask it to implement it.
Okay. Now, like I said, I know before it was doing that, but yeah, it says now it's saying while I can't directly modify your slides,
Okay.
yeah, it started doing that after that last update.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, normally it will ask you, do you want me, okay, this is what it look like. Do you want me to implement it? And then you press
Okay,
yes,
it was
and it
right
creates
here.
the slides. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah,
good to know.
yeah. So it does now, at least for themes, fonts, and images. Um, it doesn't add it anymore. Now it did before, so it might go back to doing that at any moment because Microsoft is always making changes to the cloud. They're always making improvements, and then sometimes they have to take a feature down because it's clashing with something else, and then to redeploy it a little bit later, so that it works with the other thing that they deployed. So we may very well see this make a comeback. I'm pretty sure it will because I know if I wasn't real busy, I'd probably give Microsoft a long-winded feedback about taking that away. And I'm pretty sure other people have already because that was a very powerful thing. But I think it tries to compensate. If I'm not mistaken, up here, I think it gives you um, the code to enter it into an image builder, an image generator. Oh, it must be in one of the previous chats. But when I had asked for certain images, there was a little piece down at the bottom where it kind of explains what the images are, and you can copy that and put it into an image builder, and then the image builder tries to build it for you. So it tries to compensate by doing that. Not as helpful as it just putting the image in there, but it can be a little bit better than nothing.
All right, thank you.
Oh,
I
there.
had a
Oh,
couple
and I
questions
forgot.
about the
Oh,
title,
yes, go ahead.
and
Hmm.
maybe, I don't know if it will do that or not. You kind of answered it indirectly, but if you could take a look, I'd appreciate it.
What about the title?
I
Oh, okay. I see it. I see in
I
your.
put
I
in
see
the
in the
chat.
chat.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Will it also suggest font styles and colors? Yes, if you ask it, but also if you just ask it to give it a more visually appealing theme, like I did a minute ago, and it gave me, use corporate green, nature inspired themes and things like that. So it'll give you a bunch of suggestions. Is it possible to automate it so you can see a preview of the title? Um, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well,
I know you
that's
get the
probably
titles over
that's probably the
here.
next round, okay? You'll just be able to say what
Here.
you want and it will automatically automate and show you what you asked for. You know, it's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
the
it did
YouTube
give me the
video.
titles.
It will probably display it. They're probably working on that. Probably
Yeah, well, I
ahead of
mean,
me.
they did give me the titles. So when I
Yeah.
asked for titles, it gave me
Mhm.
the titles. It just didn't put the title on the page. You got to actually take it and put it over there, whichever
Yeah,
one you
maybe
choose.
next version it will actually put it on the page with the colors and the styles and everything. That
Yeah,
would be nice,
yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that would definitely be nice.
Or Nakia, thank
Oh,
you.
oh, you're welcome. And I almost forgot about one other piece. There is the piece, just like in Word, where you can just edit the text of things by clicking on the whichever text block you want, clicking on the little pencil, and then you can do auto rewrite. You can have it condense it. You can make it professional, or you can make it turn it itself into a list. So I can make it maybe go like that, make it professional, which it was already professional, so it basically didn't even make any changes really. But let me try to make it into a list so you can see that.
Okay, well,
Okay.
that's cool. It does some
hmm
automated stuff that you
hmm
suggest
Yeah.
without you having to do a bunch of steps. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Some things. Some things. So I possibly could have gotten the title. I possibly could have put it right here and said, "Give me a exciting title," and it would have changed it instead of giving me a bunch of suggestions. So sometimes it's also about where you put your prompt to get the desired result. Like I said, you can't ask it over here anymore to give you a slide. You have to ask it here now to give you a new slide. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more question based on what you were just saying about the added slide. So if I type down there and message Copilot, add a slide about
Yeah.
something, it won't add it anymore there. Say add
Mm-mm.
a slide for um, landscaping.
Explaining what landscaping is.
hmm And it's on slide one, so it should be, it used to go slide two.
It used to put it right after
Yeah,
it. Yep. Yep.
and then it'd be
And it's
like
still giving me
getting it
that.
ready.
hmm But this is saying, well, I can't do that. And that's why I said you can't put it on this side. I don't know
Wow.
why they started separating these co-pilots in the same product like this, but I'm sure they'll gel eventually. Let me probably sooner rather than later. Okay, here we were. While I can't add the slide directly, but if you put it right here, add slide. So let's see, add slide explaining what landscaping is. So let me put that there. Side, do taking a minute. There we go. See what I mean?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But like a lot of Microsoft products that they start off with a lot of different features and robustness with a lot of cohesiveness, but some things aren't cohesive, and then sometimes they have to walk something back and then put it back to improve it. So That is technology. That is the cloud. It's the beauty of the cloud, but also sometimes the headache of the cloud. Um, but
Okay.
that's the end of my presentation, unless you had
All
something
right.
else.
No, it's some stuff I want to play with, but I'll do that later. Because I want to see if we can get it to add and animations or transitions.
They
Mhm.
need to, they need to hire me to work out the bugs. They need to hire a technical writer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So let me bring this down. And
Would you like me to present?
no, I got it. It's about to
Okay.
show up right now. All right. So in conclusion, we just learned about some very exciting things that thank you very much, Nakia. We just learned some very exciting things in Copilot and how it actually takes 2, 3, 4 hours worth of work and took it down to maybe 20, 30 minutes. And the more you play with it, I'm sure it gets faster and faster. The more it knows you and the more you play with it and things of that nature. And you prompt different questions in the way you do it. So it was very interesting. I appreciate you doing that, Nikia. Okay. So to wrap up our journey today, remember Copilot saves times and improves professionalism. It's great for proposals, presentations, reports, newsletters, and more. You don't need to be technical savvy. Just describe what you want. You don't need, yeah, just describe what you want. And about us and our promotions. For all those who have small businesses out there that need a support team to come in and do their Office 365, help them to use more than 20 to 35% of it so you can get 154% return on your investment. To be able to build your system out to a future state, but don't do it without having to break your pockets. You'll be able to fill it out from month to month, and over time, you'll be able to grow it and keep up with today's technology. We have a package one as low as $4.99 to $99 a month for small businesses up to 5 people. Any questions?
Do you have people that have the Microsoft Copilot that need help working with it?
Not just yet. We
Okay,
haven't started doing any reselling or selling. We just started training on Copilot, and as you know, Copilot is fairly new. So a lot of the people that has been buying Copilot as of right now has been much larger organizations that have their own IT team. You have a lot of mid-sized companies and things like that just starting to get going. But as we get going, I will keep you in mind, Becky. I will
okay,
definitely keep you on top of mine.
okay. I really appreciate it, Harry. And if any of those larger companies need tech writers, or if they lose the tech writers that they have because they hired them off of an AI keyword, I'm
Hmm.
available.
Definitely,
I'm
definitely,
qualified. So anyway, thanks.
no problem. So thank you very much. So feel free to reach out. You can reach out through hello consultncttech.com or any other, and look us up on LinkedIn or use some of the QR codes right here. With that said, I appreciate y'all being here. Any final words, Nikia?
No final words for me. Appreciate y'all being here and see you next month.